tomorrow, not yours.
Now, in the real world, Trump won big on Super Tuesday 3. It still wasn't enough to rule out a contested convention, though, in July. And when Rubio did not win his home state that night, he stepped out of the race, leaving everyone wondering what's going to happen to Rubio's 170-plus delegates. Well, let's talk about that with Republican strategist Gianno Caldwell. Gianno, thank you so much for being with us. So first of all, we've got 3 remaining candidates fighting for every single delegate. Who is going to get Rubio's? How does that work?
Well, Marco Rubio, first off, let's talk about how the convention works. There's about 8 states out of the 170 or so delegates that Marco Rubio has won, which prohibits any of the delegates to go to any other candidate outside of the convention. They have to stay bound to that candidate unless it becomes an open convention, which means that if after the first ballot, Donald Trump or any other candidate doesn't have the majority of the votes, it becomes open for anybody to run to. Now, in terms of who's best suited to win Marco Rubio's delegates, Marco Rubio has said positive things about Ted Cruz, and he said that he's the only conservative left in the race, signaling to his delegates that that's the candidate in which he supports, I believe.
So help people understand, how will they decide who gets those delegates, though?
Okay, so the way that it works, there's about 91 delegates that can currently be lobbied. So they can go over to Ted Cruz, John Kasich, or even Donald Trump. So they can pretty much do whatever they want to do. So in that case, when the convention starts and there's a balloting process, which each state, they vote, the delegates within each state, they will vote, they determine who they're going to support. So when there's the convention chairman is announcing states, let's say, for example, Illinois, they say, how many vote for Donald Trump? Then there's a number given. How many votes for Ted Cruz? How many vote for John Kasich? And there could, in that process, then we would determine who actually got the majority of the votes per that state.
Right. So is it plausible at all that those delegates would be used to stop Trump?
It's very much possible, but right now it's very difficult to make such an assessment. Donald Trump has almost 700 delegates currently. There's been over 60% of delegates allotted. 47% has gone to Donald Trump. There's about 1,058 delegates left to allot. The map favors Donald Trump moving forward. It doesn't favor Ted Cruz or John Kasich, and I'm talking per the polls. So it'd be very difficult to stop Donald Trump at this point unless something happens where he really implode, which I kind of doubt, because he said everything, he said and done everything a candidate can literally do to implode at this point, that lose support. And instead of losing support, he continues to go up in the polls. So it's kind of difficult to make an analysis and saying that it's possible that Donald Trump can be stopped at this point.
Yeah, and just to clarify, mathematically, if I remember correctly, John Kasich would have to get 100% of the delegates out there, and even that might not be enough at this point.
Yeah, and you're right. It may not be enough at this point.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Either. I've never seen anything like this. I've been involved in Republican politics for quite a while. Never seen it. The Republicans, Democrats, Conservative, and Tea Party consolidate together against Donald Trump. I've never seen it, and I don't think we'll ever see anything like this again.
All right. Republican strategist Gianno Caldwell, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Sure.